Backwards, I am talking. Okay.
I think we might be going online.
Really?
Yep.
Yep, it's true.
It's true.
I seen it. There it is. Let me advertise it in places like Discord and Twitter tweet. And then like and subscribe to that. Done.
Nice.
Promoted. Discord quit. Bob's here.
Hi, Bob.
I believe that's Bobbert. Proper name.
There's no second B.
So.
Yeah. Weekends.
Mm-hmm. I like them.
How were they?
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Fan of weekends. Yeah.
They all just the same day.
Yeah.
Kinda.
We live in a constant time continuum. There is no weekend.
I sit in the same spot for like 17 hours a day. So, yeah.
Spooky tonight.
Hmm?
My background is extra clippy tonight.
Oh, I see you're having trouble with your background. I can help you with that.
That's a clippy joke.
It was, yes. that it was, yeah.
Get it.
Yeah. Here for that hot Microsoft Assistant audience. That's what I'm here for.
They're all here for it.
Office Assistant, whatever it was called.
Mm-hmm.
I know at one point it tried to step out of Office and invade all of Windows.
Yeah.
And people were like, nah. We're good. We uninstalled Bonzi Buddy. Get your fucking paperclip out of my face.
Yeah. Now here comes Weatherbug.
Yeah. Comes Weatherbug to fuck up your shit.
Mom, stop downloading Weatherbug.
Go the fuck outside if you want to know the weather.
One of my mom's favorite stupid add-ons, surprisingly and luckily, wasn't one of the ones that like gave you 85 viruses at the same time. But it was this tiny little executable that would just put a string of Christmas lights across the top of your, like, in front of everything. It somehow would reside just right up front. It was the weirdest thing. Like, it's just this charming little, and they would twinkle.
See, that was back that sounds like that was back in the safe days, like when someone could send you elf bowling and it was okay to open it up. Which,
right,
by the way, there might be a reference to in this fucking week's movie. It's really goddamn weird. It was like a time capsule. Yeah. But anyway, I'm just saying, like, there was that, and then like the, hey, happy holidays, we got you a cup holder, and, open up your CD tray. Yeah.
Right. There were a few charming little, like, late 90s internet things like that. Mm-hmm. And it never did anything. It was just its own cute little... Mm-hmm. I've forgotten a word, and I'm really mad.
Applet?
I just miss when computers were so customizable. Like, I just found my disc for whatever, like, mid-90s Star Wars special screensaver things, where it's like after 5 minutes, like, the droids would just start taking things, like the Jawas would come in and take your icons off the
yeah,
just dumb cute thing. Like, it's all sterile and static now.
I mean, you could customize a Windows computer to all get out. I mean,
That's a fucking zip disk.
Yeah, it is.
What are you doing with that?
Not reading it.
It's what's that?
I said not reading it. Most
Yeah.
likely, workable drive.
Actually, yeah, the USB zip drive that I got from work when they were closing down the building doesn't work. But it doesn't work in a different way than I'm used to with zip disks. It doesn't have the click of death. It just doesn't power up. It's one of the it's one of the late USB powered ones.
You should try supercharging it.
Yeah, I'll
Put like 800 volts through that thing. See if you can get it going. Get a little jump start.
It's in pieces on the healing bench. Hopefully, like leaving it out for a while let some of the healing magic from the bench seep through it, and I'll just put it back together and it'll work.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out what's wrong with it. If you have a zip drive that you don't want, ship it to me.
I have one that I can loan you.
Does it work?
It did 12 years ago when I put it in a box.
Okay, so the answer is probably no.
Go plug it in if I can find something with a firewire cable or whatever the fuck cable it's got on it.
Is it one of those
parallel ones?
USB A or USB B?
Maybe B.
Yeah. Remember when they had the parallel port ones where like you undid your
yeah.
printer and put it into the zip drive, dongled it basically? Yeah, that was great.
Is it one of these, Chuck?
Yeah, it might be. I'll go dig it out tomorrow.
That's just a deplug. Deplug.
That's not deplug.
Yeah, it is. That was a USB D. D end.
No, it's USB B.
B.
Yeah.
As in bees nuts.
Oh man, we're on the line. I need to rename myself.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh man, we got a crowd.
Everybody's off of work or whatever, so they can stay up late with the BMFcast on a right 8 and 9 o'clock on
Yeah.
It's
On a
9 o'clock
Wednesday
on
night.
Wednesday. You ain't gotta work tomorrow.
I thought the parallel port zip drive daisy chained, didn't it? I mean, I don't think you could print and like access the zip drive at the same time because it probably wasn't that powerful. But
yeah. Shit, I don't. No, I don't think the parallel port one's daisy chained. I think it might have been only the SCSI ones.
okay, maybe that's what it is. I know there was the SCSI connector that looked almost exactly like parallel. It's been a long ass time.
Yeah.
So.
Or maybe they did. I don't remember.
I really don't remember.
Like it really matters.
Oh, it matters.
It matters to me, damn it. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what would you pass through on the SCSI one? Like nobody had any other SCSI devices at that time. Really.
Scanners.
Scanners for SCSI? Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah.
SCSI
I guess I did I ever have a SCSI scanner? I think the first one I ever bothered with was USB.
That was the only scanner that I had was the SCSI one.
Yeah.
Man, it was garbage.
I still remember what was it the first iPod that had FireWire 400 where it was like took fucking forever to load the damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they were only like 5 gigs and it was like, yeah, come back in like 6 hours. Yeah. Anyway, enough tech memory lane bullshit. Let's talk about movies that came out this year, but somehow.
Right.
Yeah.
I should maybe record.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Hit that record
Well,
button.
Zip 250 definitely had parallel port pass through.
Okay.
Why?
Nice.
Noise. Anyway, I'd like to see what, like 16-year-old me was thinking with putting shit on zip disks.
It's all porn.
Probably.
Yeah.
Actually, it's probably just like bitmaps of Claudia Schiffer.
feel like
Check out bitmaps of claudiaschiffer.tumblr.com.
I feel like I should have a That's My Cover band for that, but I can't.
Like Presidents of the United
Yeah.
States cover band.
yeah.
Bitmaps
It's actually
of Claudia
probably
Schiffer.
it's probably Kathy Ireland. That was my supermodel of choice.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one's British, one's Irish.
One is all of Ireland. I have
Claudia Schiffer actually is British. I think. I'm pretty sure she is.
I don't know. I have 2 zip disks from my youth. Here's the other one. I don't know what's on it.
No, see, she is German. I am sorry. I did not mean to take the Germans and associate it with the UK.
Whoa. What?
There we go.
Apps.
Number 1.
Apps.
Are you sure it's not hot? Where is?
It probably is Wares.
Yeah. I still think that's the funniest thing. I had a coworker who was from Slovakia, and he always said it that way, like very phonetically.
Juarez.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, did you see the new Juarez out there?" And I'm like, "Mexico? Like, oh, where's? Okay, you know."
It's the call of whereas.
I showed you guys my my CDRWs from that case that I found, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good stuff in there.
Where's number 1?
First
it
base.
Man, now I want to go plug in my zip drives, see if it works. Check out my wares.
Yeah.
Oh man, we should like get a ring thing going, a web ring. We could share where is on our
We
web
should,
ring.
yeah.
Yeah. It's just called Dropbox now.
Wasn't there a BBS equivalent of web rings before web rings? Like, wasn't there something where it was like we were all part of the same
Oh yeah, there was like a network.
thing or something? Yeah. I mean, it meant fuck all, but other than I think you could set up like, the same file share would sync between all of them or something like that. So that whichever one you went on, they all had the same shit available. I think that was about as far as it went. Which was probably just automated FTP.
Go see all the binaries I downloaded.
Oh yeah, binaries. All right, let's do this thing, I guess.
Okay. It's episode 29.
Thanks.
Everyone recording?
I am recording.
I am.
Great.
All right, welcome to the BMFcast Variety Hour.
BMFcast.
Yeah, variety hour.
I have to specify because people are like, "Oh my god, the BMFcast!" No, we're not back yet. It's still a Variety Hour.
Nope.
Yeah.
Number 29. We're still in this hellscape, but hey, it's a wonderful Christmas time, and the time is just as good as that song.
I mean, we do have good news in that we have met approximately 1/8 of the requirements to get back into, Bamfcasting proper. So,
Math checks out. Yes.
Yes, 1/8.
yep. So,
So close.
12.5%.
And by that
more
we mean
progress.
Chuck has had one half of the 2 vaccines.
Oh yeah, I got some vaccine.
Yeah, I
today.
just figured someone else would be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
So Chuck is 1/2 crocodile now.
Right.
Yep,
Or
I'm
alligator.
working on it. I can't wait. We'll
Yeah.
wake up tomorrow and be an
You're
alligator.
gonna be
It's
wearing
gonna be fun.
Crocs.
I'm so pissed I'm not an alligator yet.
Does it work like that where you get
Like some
is it
features?
gradual? Will you be half alligator until you
It's
get
like
the
Bewitched.
next
I think you just turn into it. Just
once you get the
ding, and then
second one.
Oh no,
you'll-
you're going full gold bloom. Like it's a slow transition into.
Oh,
the,
I don't want that.
Yeah,
I don't want to wake up tomorrow and have like a snout,
yeah.
but still be me.
I know. So I even all right. So there was one thing, and this is the weirdest, like off tangent thing, and I always ask stupid questions on air, so I'll do it again.
It's a variety hour.
I had not seen The Fly for a long time. Like for some reason I saw it way too early and too many times when I was a kid. Is it implied? Because I even saw this recently, and is it implied that he has his dick in the jar at one point in time? He's like, "Hey, check this out," and like. His dick fall off and he put it in a jar because it's never real clear. And even when I was like, I think even as a kid I was like, I'll understand that one day. And I watched it again recently. I'm like, that's still not clear. He just got a brown jar of goo, and he's like, "Hey, check this out." Like, I'm like, "Is that you're taking balls in a jar?" I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. Anyway,
It's a mystery.
someone solve this for us. Like, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that's all we're here to talk about.
Bloom's dick in a jar.
Yeah. That seems like the safest thing one could Google these days. Yeah.
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 Speaking of safe,
Yeah, we're actually here to talk about a Christmas movie and not fly movies with possible dicks in jars.
right?
It's more Christmassy, haha, ho ho stuff. Because
I mean, it's a variety hour. We can do whatever we want.
We
really.
watched the Santa Chronicles 2 or Part 2 or
Christmas
Chronicles. Christmas Chronicles.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Part 2.
Yes,
Starring Tyrese.
yeah, that's how I'd phrase it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's starring Tyrese and the bride, not her father though.
Yep.
Yeah, the bride whose father was the topic of the movie for some reason.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brad Paisley's wife.
Wait, what?
What's her face? Kimberly
Kimberly
Williams. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the
She
mother.
was the bride and father of the bride.
Yes, and Part 2.
And yes, and now she
I don't
she's
understand
mom.
how you have a Father of the Bride Part 2, but I also never watched the first one, so did she get divorced or, like, widowed?
You're not allowed to mock this if you haven't seen them, so
No, I'm not
fuck
mocking.
off.
I'm just trying to understand, like, how do you stretch a bride-to-be into two movies? Like,
I think he had 2 daughters.
I guess that works, too, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when there was 2 daughters?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's when Steve Martin was getting paid.
So this is always also starring Malcolm McDowell,
Yeah, I was
apparently.
I was disappointed that he showed up as a CGI character and not as Malcolm McDowell, leader of the elves.
Right.
I was real
wait.
like I heard the voice and I was like, "Hey," and then I was like, "Ah, hell, this would have been much better if it had just been him."
Like, full size? Or, like,
Yes.
tiny
no,
Malcolm
just
McDowell?
him
Okay.
living in the woods with all these CG elves. Just
I,
hey,
I'm
I'm Malcolm McDowell.
that wouldn't actually surprise me in real life if that was like his scenario,
saying.
like his living scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, boy.
yeah. So Christmas, or sorry, yes, I keep the Christmas Chronicles Part 1 was kind of a surprise hit last year. Like, we were like, hey, this is
2 years ago.
2 years ago. We were kind of like, hey, this is actually surprisingly good. And we were. I mean, we were jazzed to see it because it's like, hey, it's Kurt Russell as Santa Claus, and then it was
And
like,
that's
hey,
what made it work was that Kurt
Right.
Russell was Santa Claus and it was awesome.
yeah, and yeah, I mean, and it's also like it's an okay movie, and one of its strengths is that it generally was like did not focus on the elves very much in the first one. In fact, they weren't in North Pole land for most of the first movie. It was like they were off having adventures through the world and stuff.
I'm pretty sure we all said when it came out, like when the elves showed up, it was like, "Oh no, what is this?"
Yeah, and they definitely doubled down on that for the sequel.
Yeah.
But the elves are still not good.
No, no.
No.
Most of the CGI in this movie is not good.
Yeah. Yes.
Or I should say most of the like big effect shots. Like, I'm sure there's a bunch of CGI in this movie that is good that we don't notice. Because like that's how movies be this day and age.
The things they have to interact with and have do
Yes.
heavy lifting and things are questionable.
Yeah, the Yule Cat is
Ooh.
good for a video game, but bad for a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it looks like something out of The Witcher, maybe The Witcher the Third, like
Yeah.
fairly recent, but not, not the highest fidelity, not what I hope for in my 2020 movies. But
Yeah. I just need to ask this before we go any further. Did anyone like this?
Okay, so
it's a complicated answer for
Yeah.
me.
I'm gonna say base, yes. However, there's a caveat, is that I've basically learned, do not trust my opinion right now. Like, 2020 has taken its toll on me, and I'm realizing, like, literally anything that doesn't vomit directly into my face with awfulness, I'm like, yeah, all right, that's okay. So like,
Oh,
like
you've embraced Chuck Fine. Welcome.
I just like
I've been trying to explain this to you forever. The movie didn't vomit in my face. It's fine.
yeah, I look. I was having this weird moment because like there is a thing that happens in this movie that is so incredibly contrived and so like you can see
which
it.
part? There's like 40
Well,
of those.
I'm learning that like this must be some kind of weird trigger thing for me because like it's happened in several movies now where it's like there's a gone or dead parent scenario and then some weird magical thing lets the person re-interact with them, you know.
The Logan International Airport scene.
Right. So it's like and for some reason it's like it was getting me, and at the same time I'm like, fuck you, brain, like this movie is not that good, don't let this get to you. Like I was having this weird internal fight.
That's called having emotions.
Yeah,
And
well, yeah, like not
this movie tries to play them all real hard.
right.
And
It shouldn't work, is what I'm saying. Like this movie should like this. What I'm saying is I'm in the state where like a good Publix commercial could get me. You know, like that kind of thing.
Yes.
Like I'm like I literally anything
right there
that's,
with you.
anything that is like any bit of joy is like it's so. Normally I would just be like, fuck you with your saccharine sweet bullshit, and you're not getting me, especially not in a 30-second commercial. But like right now it's like it's hitting me, and this movie shouldn't hit me. I'm saying caveat emptor on this, the quality of this movie. I liked it for now. You come back in a year and I probably hate everything about this.
Okay.
I do have some things that like genuinely made me angry, pretty much all dealing with elves. It should be noted that like Julian Dennison is in this. You know, he's in like Deadpool 2 and the other Taika movie, The Wilder People, whatever it's called. Anyway, like he's playing like the bad elf guy who's also human for most of this, through reasons I explain. But like, there is one of the other dumb contrivances in this movie is that like basically he sets off this like gremlin juice onto the elves where it just turns them all evil and they basically turn into gremlins, and it's like, fuck you, Chris Columbus. But like part of this entails that there is a scene in a movie in the year of our Lord Kurt Russell 2020 that where these elves go to fucking town on Who Let the Dogs Out, and I'm like,
yeah,
what fucking time warp did I just enter into? Like, when did this? I thought even like, you know, I thought even kids were like fucking enough. You know, like I thought
kids don't even know what Who Let the Dogs Out is.
No, but like
that's such a.
These are elves who a scene earlier had turned so evil they were having a fucking chainsaw fight with each other.
Right, yes.
And now they're just having a fucking dance party to Who Let the Dogs Out.
No, the chainsaw fight, I believe, was during the Who Let the Dogs Out scene.
It was, because it ended up with the split the turntables
Yeah.
into two.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But anyway, regardless, I'm just like the fact that like there is a Who Let the Dogs Out, like, I mean, this was
Scene of any kind.
well, I just like it. This was the scene in the movie that like, what was it? Was it? What fucking song did they play in goddamn Speed Racer when it was like the monkey driving the cart? It was a fucking Leonard Skinner song or some shit. Like, do you remember what I'm talking about? It was literally the scene where I walked the fuck out of the theater when I tried
Probably
to
Who
see.
Let the Dogs Out.
It probably was, but there's some scene where it's just like to say it's a CG nightmare in Speed Racer is that's an oxymoron. But it's just like it's the fat kid and the chimp. I don't remember his name. Pom Pom or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's the monkey's name. I don't know. But whatever. Like they're just riding around on an out of control go kart or golf cart or some shit, and it's playing some song, and it's like, yeah, it's that kind of shit that like gets me in movies where I'm just like, nope, I refuse to accept anything that's happening right now.
It's bad. It's a weak. Just it's lazy.
Mm-hmm.
But in the year of our Lord 2020, it is lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much music you could choose from. That may be this movie's greatest sin somehow. Like it's fine for a Christmas movie. Like if I was this movie's target audience, so maybe 9 through 12, it would be fine. It would be just, you know, yet another Christmas movie on the list, and I wouldn't be mad at it. But from an adult perspective, it's just And I know, like, Christmas movies like this are for the kids, but it's just lazy for the most part. Just super lazy, and
It just takes the easy path whenever it can.
yeah, pretty much all the time. Like, and Kurt Russell is still trying his best. Like, Kurt Russell is all in, like, has completely bought into this idea of being Santa Claus.
It's just he takes a little bit of
It's
a
just-
back seat because it's like, you've got Mrs. Claus now in Goldie Hawn. Obviously
Yeah.
that was teased in the first movie, but you've also got like a different set of kids. Like the older kid is obviously too old to go on a Santa Claus adventure, so like that actor got a couple days in Cancun or wherever the hell they actually filmed, and but he got a really easy paycheck out of this movie. But but yeah, it's just because he kind of has to backseat, and you've got a split storyline now where it's like for most of the movie, Santa Claus and the girl from the first movie are off doing adventures while the new kid and Mrs. Claus are like doing other things. So you get a lot less Kurt Russell as a result, mathematically speaking. So
One of my beefs with this movie, and I'll try to make this make sense. It makes sense in my head. It may not make sense when I say it out loud, but
Hashtag weird beef.
Yeah, that goes for many things that I end up saying. But so in the first movie, Santa Claus was Kurt Russell, and that's awesome. And in this movie, Kurt Russell is just Santa Claus.
Okay, that's fair.
No, that makes sense because
That
he
makes a
doesn't
lot,
really
yeah.
have. He's not doing his like Elvis swagger thing for most of the movie.
Right. In the first one, it was kind of a fish out of water thing because he was out of his element and he had to improvise a whole bunch of things to get Christmas back up and running. And, the jailhouse scene, which is just probably that movie's strongest point. But it's Kurt Russell, like, really putting a swagger on it. And in this, it's still got some of that. Kurt Russell is now one of my favorite movie Santas, but it's just, I'm Santa. Haha, ta-da, and it's like, here I am at home, and here's my village, and I know Christmas is 2 days away, but I don't have a care in the world, and the elves are out ice skating and everything. I'm like, production, Santa, come on, get going. What are you so chill about?
Okay, so like here's a weird counter to that, and I don't know if I believe it. I'm just playing Christmas advocate or something. I don't know.
You better believe in Santa Claus.
No, I think the addition of Mrs. Claus is kind of like, and like I said, I don't want this to sound bad, but like she's kind of shitting on his macho parade. And the funny thing is, like, this movie plays with it kind of interestingly because it's like he's not like, oh, shut up, woman, like a dude that's 3,000 years old should be or whatever, I mean, let's be honest, he probably has some very old values, but as I'm saying, it's like, she's like, I actually really designed all the thing. It really probably should be like Mrs. Claus Village and not Santa's Village. And he's like, oh, okay. I mean, but the most he does later is like, not finalized here, like, not set in stone. But, it's like the fact that she's just kind of there to like reel him in and like, I mean, kind of do the rom-com of like, oh, you dumb man, kind of thing. Like several times throughout the movie, it definitely takes a piss on his like swagger, I think, a little bit. It's just like if, I'm not saying she's wet blanketing him. It's just like, shut up, Santa. Like, you're out here kind of being equally as stupid as because, I mean, they were about to get in a chicken fight, he and the evil elf. And she's like, enough of this macho bullshit. Like, let's fucking talk this out. Like, so it's just, like I said, it's like she's kind of throwing some water on, maybe not a wet blanket, but she's dousing the fire a little bit of like, I can't be hot shit swagger Santa,
Santa and the bad elf do have a wizard fight, which is kind of okay because they're both just standing there doing spirit fingers at each other.
Yeah, those are the scenes I always love to think about. Like if there was one day I could be on set, it's like I want to be I want to be there like the most intense magic battle of the Doctor Strange filming. I want to see Benedict Cumberbatch looks like he's trying to pass a sideways shit while doing spirit fingers. That's be the best while nothing is happening.
Right.
Yeah.
I just going into this, I was like, you know what? The first one kind of played with expectations, and when it was over, you're like, that was actually way better than I thought it would be. And there are at least 2 points in this, maybe 3, where I thought, oh, it's about to get crazy. Like this movie's going to stop being the generic thing it's being and go crazy. Like when the shield comes down at the North Pole, I was just okay, just chaos is going to happen.
Oh, I was
Like, all
expecting.
of a sudden-
I was like, when is the shot to NORAD? Like, suddenly, sorry, we have a power spike over the North Pole. Like,
Yeah, something where it's just like, oh my god, what the hell? And just planes are flying over, or people are descending on this place. Or,
well, the North Pole
we've been
generally
searching
not
for this
a
forever.
big flight plan. Not
Yeah.
not,
So like when that happened, I was like, oh shit, now this movie's going to get crazy, and it didn't. And then the Logan airport scene is so just casually dropped in there, like this. The thing that sets it off is just like, oh, we did this special thing, and it's like, okay, what the hell's happening here? And it's all just to set up that cloying, meet a dead relative thing. And I mean, granted, it's also where they put the musical number, which you were figuring, yeah, that's coming, but
I was totally
they
okay
also
with the
cut
musical
away
number.
from it several times. Like it's not even the purpose of the scene. It's just like, well, meanwhile that's happening, and over here,
It suffers a lot from sequelitis. Like, okay, let's do a musical scene, and that scene probably has the most Kurt Russell Santa swagger, hashtag Santa swag, of the entire movie.
Yeah.
But it like everything is a little rehashed. Everything is a little watered down. They add in a couple characters, and Mrs. Claus, I think, is totally unnecessary, and I don't like Mrs. Claus being in this. Like, that's the weirdest sentence I feel like I've said in 2020, despite all the other weird things I've said in 2020. But, yeah, like, I don't like Goldie Hawn as Mrs. Claus. For some reason, it doesn't work. How does it not work? I don't know. But yeah, there's just so much that I don't know, that feels like they just kind of snagged a script from the next Christmas movie over. Like they had somebody go in and steal the other Christmas movie script and film that with Kurt Russell instead,
Yeah.
Like the Yule Cat could have been cool and it wasn't. Bell Snickle could have been cool and wasn't.
Man, that
I do
name
think
for a
it's-
character is the worst.
I mean, it's a cool fucking name, and I can't remember what actual like lore, but I'm pretty sure there's some Christmas character called Belsnickel in some German Christmas lore that
You're
like
probably right.
pulls
Jens
the
will write in
toenails
and
off.
Tell us.
Yeah,
It's like the sidekick to the Krampus or something. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just there's some stuff that has potential to be cool, but it falls flat in a lot of ways.
I don't know why I could watch Kurt Russell talking in Elvish, whatever the hell it is, all day.
I was just gonna say, whenever
Yeah.
he just so confidently is busting out the Elvish is just fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, again, that's what you're getting with Kurt Russell, is just that swagger of just, I could do anything.
I just even like him, like, ooh shit, like, like the reindeer commands and stuff. I don't know. I just like I was buying that.
And I think the funniest bit in the whole movie is when they cut to a TV for 5 seconds and It's a Wonderful Life is on, but it's dubbed in Elvish.
Yeah,
So it's the
that was
scene
pretty
you've
good.
seen a million times, but all of a
Yeah,
sudden he's
I'm like
moved up.
every time a bell rings. But now I can learn this in Elvish. It's the Rosetta
Yeah.
Stone of Elvish. I just
Right.
have to watch that scene over and
Right.
over.
Yeah.
There's an actual like Elvish isn't, or that Elvish was created specifically for the Christmas Chronicles and Christmas Chronicles 2. Like some language expert made up a whole
Did
Elvish
they go get the
language.
Klingon guy to come in?
Are
And
we sure
Probably.
it wasn't just that guy from the Offspring? Like, we're not leaving.
I don't know.
Like, I mean, that's kind of
Yes.
what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's that guy.
Yeah. Which isn't even from the
Belsnickel
Offspring. I think that's a sample from something else, actually.
yeah, it is.
Belsnickel is a German Christmas folklore thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jens will write in and tell us in the Discord
Right.
how wrong we are about anything.
About the
Belsen.
Berschnickel.
Yeah, he'll be like, actually, guys, listen. I wrote my dissertation on
I got my PhD in Belsnickel. I know, that's the joke.
I know, but the joke is also to say he doesn't talk like that. You can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
Love and marriage.
So, like I said, the Christmas Chronicles 2 for me is just like it worked for me right now. It probably wouldn't most other times. Is really how I would like sum the whole thing up.
Yeah, I'm particularly I'm worn thin, so like I feel like I'm gonna have to like sit down and watch The Notebook or something and get a real big ugly cry out of the way before 2021 starts, so that I can toughen up to face whatever horrors the new year brings. But yeah, I was sitting there like, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, and the end of the movie comes, and I'm just like sitting there with a scowl and tears rolling down my cheeks, like trying to
wait,
finish
like
my Santa
in like
movie.
where they were singing on the beach and shit. That got you? Like even I was like, okay, no, fuck you, to that part. And like, no, I'm not judging.
all
I
of
just,
it. Yeah.
I'm not judging because like I said, that even that, I think because even I couldn't like look past Tyrese and just be like, God damn it, you're helping fuck up my favorite franchise, you asshole. Like you're part of the.
I didn't know the Christmas Chronicles was your favorite franchise.
It is, yeah. It's, new and improved favorite.
Yeah.
franchise.
I think it was hilarious to hire Tyrese, who does one specific thing in every movie that he's ever been in, and have him not only not do any of that, but seemingly read his lines phonetically. Like it's like he just happened to be at this resort, and they were like, "Hey, come over here."
Bob. Tyrese plays a character called fucking Bob. in
We're gonna
this.
write lines on Kimberly Williams' forehead. Just read them.
It was almost like he was being fed them in an earpiece or something. Because he was just,
He was the most boring man I've ever seen. Like, I don't even know what Kimberly Williams' character sees in you, let alone what the producers thought when they were like, "Hey, get Tyrese. He's great in all those other movies, and we'll make him not good here either, but in fascinating new ways."
like, okay, maybe she likes him because he sings well and he's nice. Those seem like his only qualities.
I don't know. I'm sure the character of Bob is a fine human being and all of that. I'm just saying.
Tyrese sucks.
I mean, let's be
Like,
honest. I mean,
I don't know if
Tyrese
Tyrese sucks in real life.
Tyrese is still a handsome man. I'm not taking that away
sure.
from him, but like, you know, beyond that, it's just like,
I mean, the second he showed up, I was like, "Oh no, get away from him! He's gonna make you sleep in 95-degree heat."
That's why they were in Cozumel.
yeah.
Tyrese has to be in the heat.
Yeah, I'd like to rent the kiln room here in Cancun. It's not quite hot enough on the equator.
Yeah. So I don't know. I didn't like it at all. I was amazed. I figured one of you was going to text me at some point and say, "Does this get better?" To which I would have said no. No matter what point you're at, no, it does not.
I literally just watched it. Like I put it on at 6:00 today, and I was like, I got to get through this. I got to hurry up, and I got to watch this movie as fast as I can. No stoppies.
Also, it's 2 goddamn hours. Stop it.
I mean, its build is an hour 55, and it has no less than 11 minutes of credits. So
Still,
really, it's an hour 44, which is okay.
I suppose
it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, because I was worried about making it by podcast time. So I think I started at like 6:15, something like that.
Well, hey, good news. Netflix has those speed settings now, so you could watch it in 1.25 speed or.
Oh, really? They have that? Ew.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I mean,
Fuck you. Like,
no.
no, I'm sorry. Like, I mean, like YouTube is one thing. Like, I don't care if it's like you want to watch us sound like fucking chipmunks. It's probably an improvement on my voice, but like,
I just want.
but don't. God, that's like fucking. That's worse than the fucking soap opera setting, the motion smoothing. Like, fuck you. Like,
Why would you? I mean, like I know that Mackie listens to podcasts at like 7x or whatever because he subscribes to 6,000 podcasts and has to listen to them all each week. But
I listen to
did not
podcasts
know.
at 1.25 speed, so
do you?
yeah,
That's
it saves
weird.
me a skosh of time.
I just look. I know I'm going to be the old man yelling at clouds one day about movies, but like the longer movies go on and the more that they're like treated like this background thing, like it pisses me off. Like it really does. Like
The good news is that there aren't many movies on Netflix.
well,
There are a ton of movies on Netflix. Actually, most of them are just movies you don't want to watch. That's the thing. Like, there is still so much on Netflix. I think you get recommended a bunch of shit because you watch Nothing Good Ever. But yeah, like Quigley Down Under is on Netflix.
It is. That's good. Don't you dare
That's
watch
awesome.
that in any speed faster than 1.
No, I'm going to watch it at 3/4 speed because you can apparently do that. I just looked.
Oh, so you can just
you can
make
slow it
movies
down?
longer?
Yeah, you can slow it down.
It's got
Why
that
would
called,
you want? I don't want Quigley to ever end.
yeah. Like, let me watch Dances with Wolves at slower speed. That's what I need.
right.
I was already ready to call it the Costner setting anyway.
If you
Oh, director's cut of Dances with Wolves. Holy shit, sign me up. That
if you
movie
want
wasn't
to never
long
be done watching Dances with Wolves, you can watch it at 0.11 speed.
Oh,
Never
that's-
Be Done was one of the other characters in Dances with Wolves.
And scene.
Yep.
Good times. Anyway,
But yeah, I just
mixed reactions.
mixed
Yeah, watch
reactions.
the Christmas
Oh,
Chronicles
yeah.
1 instead.
I still wanted to yell about the alternating speeds on movies and shit.
Oh no, go back. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, please.
No, I just like what is this fear of missing out bullshit? Like, I mean, I like if you, that's the way you consider watching a movie, like, fuck you, you didn't watch the movie. As far as I'm
I think
concerned,
it's for people who watch shows on repeat all the time and want to.
but why?
Why would you want to watch them faster, though?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are you trying to get to? There's no finish line. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like, oh, I watched all the TV on Netflix. Well, bully for you. Like, who gives a shit? Like,
I just don't see the point
Go
of
outside.
it. Like, what
yeah.
could you possibly gain except for time? By
What is the fastest speed?
hang on one sec. Let me pull up the Christmas
that I'm
Chronicles
curious
first.
about.
1.5.
Okay.
Let me see how this. I'm gonna watch a little bit of this in 1.5 speed and see how fucking ridiculous it is.
I will admit when I used to screen a bunch of horror movies, I would end up putting them a lot on 1.5 speed when it was something I knew it wasn't going to cover, but it was just like, I just need to get to the end of this to see if it ever does anything interesting. But that was just a very specific issue. Like I could not see someone just sitting there as like, I've got to watch 7 movies today, so I have to watch them in 1.5. I was like, why?
Yeah.
Like there's literally no reward at the end of this. But what the hell? People
I mean,
do.
it's like the people that you don't get a cookie if you sit and watch all the Lord of the Rings movies in one day. Nobody cares. You know, in fact, actually, most people think the opposite. They're like, really? Like, like you didn't have anything
you should
else you
not
wanted
do
to do
Nah,
all
you
day?
should
But
not do that.
yeah, I like I said, it's just what is the need to like consume it all? Like, and to me, like you're not. Like I run into this problem, and like I said, this is a little bit of like cross pollination, but I run into this problem all the time of like, how much of a video game do I have to have played before I'm like, yeah, I played that game and I got an idea of what it is and I can form an opinion, you know? Because like there's a lot of games, like I mean, I will start up a meeting and be like, not for me, you know, like the things I didn't even know were like, you know, turn-based combat or something like that. And it starts up and I'm like, oh, this is what the game is. Never mind, you know, I just know this is not a genre for me, or something like that, and. You know, but like, do I count that I played it? No, probably not. But that's the thing. It's like, you know, this is even like dumber because who cares if like you watched a movie or didn't watch a movie? Like, I don't know.
I'm sure it was just something that they kept getting emails about.
Who are these people? Yeah, who are these people? Like, I can see maybe like a YouTube instructional video or even a podcast, you know, like 1.25 times. Sure. I get that. But I don't understand why you would do this. And I don't understand how there would be enough people out there. Please write us if you're out there and you want to watch a movie in 1.5x. Please tell us your, it better be a good one, reason for wanting to do this, because if it's not, you're going to get ridiculed live on the internet next Wednesday.
I too would like to hear.
I'd like to hear a good reason. It's not ever going to change my mind because, like I said, it's to me all modifications to movies not done by the original artist and even sometimes by the original artist shouldn't happen. Like, I mean, you should, like, pan and scan was a fucking sin. You know, like all of these things that alter the movie in any way, the cut for time on, you know, FX or whatever. Like, if you fuck with the movie, fuck you. Like, I'm just like, I get it for, commercial TV. Fine. You got to trim a movie down or make it fit or take out the naughty words, whatever. But okay, that's fine. But also, like, whenever people are like, oh yeah, I've seen that movie. It's like, yeah, I watched it on FX one day. I'm like, then you didn't fucking see the movie. Like, I in the back of my mind, I'm still like that to a certain degree.
Are you discounting my 47 watches of The Core on FX and my 23 watches of The Bulletproof Monk on FX?
A little bit, because I mean, you still have never seen the actual real movie, because like they're almost always something's cut out of those versions. Yeah, I mean, if you
I've seen The Core on non-FX for the record.
I know. I guarantee that. I figured you've seen it for reals.
I'm just putting that out there just so people don't think I'm some sort of monster.
But also, like I said, like, why do I care? I'm not like, there's no like, well, I saw The Core 65 times. It's like, congratulations. Like, okay, like, fine. Yeah, because there's no award at the end of it for having seen something a number of times. And
no, there's not.
And like I said, I'm just breaking my brain because I'm thinking about something that like I could watch over and over again, no backwards and forwards. If I were to put Three Amigos on at 1.5 speed, it would break my brain. My brain would break because everything would be off. The timing of every single thing.
Scene would be especially like, what the fuck is?
Well, just like every bit of dialogue would be off. It would just sound wrong. It's like putting a 33 record on 45. It's just like that does not sound like the song. Like,
I will say they somehow managed to do that like weird compression thing where the voices sound normal. I listened to
sure.
Yeah, I listened to about a minute of the Christmas Chronicles.
But it would still be compressed time wise. I mean, like the punchline of a joke would still be off.
Yeah. It's like those weird podcasters or YouTubers that do the like.
Oh, take out the pauses.
Yeah, they take out all the pauses. That's kind of what it sounds like.
I hate that.
There was a very brief period of time where I was trying to edit the show at a faster speed just to get it done because it would take so long. But playing it that fast, the gaps wouldn't sound like gaps. So it was pointless because I was listening for gaps.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Who knows? I would like to hear from somebody. I absolutely saw this on my Twitter feed a lot.
Sure.
Like people were when they announced it, people were like, "Yay, finally!" And I was like, "Why?"
I mean, I'm kind of okay with like up-resing type things, like AI up-resing and de-artifacting and shit like that. Like if you want to, clean up something. I mean, I'm not anti-film grain or anything. Like I'm not trying to make that argument. I'm just like I'm okay with things that are there to improve the picture as long as they don't like the Spanish painter lady fuck things up, like I don't want to see it all smeared and like it's a much better version of the movie now. Like I don't want to see that affect something down the line. It's just I want to I still want it to be the movie and not fucked with it anyway. Like I said, it's motion smoothing, pan and scan, they're all fucking evil.
Well, maybe someone will let us know what their reason is, and we can still go not for me, but whatever, you do you.
Other things. Did I watch other things, or am I the only one with anything else?
I didn't watch any other things.
I didn't watch anything worth
talking about. Well,
so.
I got a couple of brief TV things, and I guess we can move on from this. First thing, I finally got around to watching Good Omens, the Amazon show based on the. Is it Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman? Is that the two people? Okay, novel. I think somehow I was in a better frame of mind because it totally like everything about it worked for me now, and I don't know why. I'll just be in a mood. I'll just start something. I'm like, it's not clicking. I will say like it's still mildly annoying, especially in the first episode. And I think I realized what my hill that I couldn't get over the first time is that movie or that thing starts real hard on the like. Hey, we're not Douglas Adams, but we're trying to be real hard, thing. And it was just like, ugh. Like, it's a weird, like, it hits you so hard with it, like, at the beginning. And it's just like, come on. Like, I don't want to, dear God, I don't want to set the Goth army upon me. But, like, I feel this about, like, most of Neil Gaiman's writing, that it's, like, it's very not original. Like, And it all just seems like very derivative. And like I know, I can hear them putting on their white makeup and black clothes right now, but yeah, it's
You can hear that?
yeah, I can. It's,
I can see where you're like.
it's like the faint roaring of Bela Lugosi's dead in the background. It's just getting louder and louder.
No, I mean that's a pretty fair point.
Yeah.
He writes like a lot of folklore-y stuff that's like inspired by
Sure.
a lot of like Native American folklore and stuff like that. So I can definitely see where you'd feel that. I haven't seen this show yet, so I can only
I mean,
chime in with a
yeah. It tones down on
Neil
that.
Gaiman or two.
Yeah, it tones down on that. Like, I mean, it starts real fast, and like the whole like montage to leading up to setting up the show just is so Hitchhikers. It's kind of gross. Like, I mean, it's just like. Don't get me wrong. Like, I like things that are happening there. Like, Frances McDormand is a great choice for the voice of God, and I love her wryness about saying all of those lines and stuff. But it's just like the fact that it's just so like, and it was well, he was off by 10 minutes. It's just like
I
get
think it's
British
a hard
humor.
sell when you're first coming into a thing where it's like, oh, this is the tone. I don't know about this. It's not easing you into it. It's
Right.
like, bam, British comedy. It's like, yeah, but
Yeah, but like, and I think I mentioned this the first time I tried. Like, it totally redeems itself because like, I still think the funniest goddamn line read of that entire show, I think, is in the first episode when Michael Sheen's like, "Get behind me, foul beast," and he's like, "After you," and just opens the door for him. Like, that line read is so fucking good. Like, yeah, and it's I was like, that's fucking perfect, and
I'm pretty. It's either the first or second episode. I think it's the first episode. It has one of my favorite meta jokes ever in it. They're trying to do the shot where the camera goes to the window and then how things happen now. It just goes through the window and comes in.
Right.
The camera just hits the wall. It's
just like bonk into
it just thuds into the window, and I'm just like, that is the funniest shit because it's so
I must
random.
totally missed that. I
It's just going to like this kid's room or something, and the camera's on a crane and going up and going towards the window, and you're like, I've seen this shot before, but no, the camera just slams right into it. I'm like, okay, that's funny. It doesn't make sense, but
Yeah.
it's just this weird, dumb meta joke.
yeah, I always call it the contact shot. I feel like that's the first time I ever saw that.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. It probably happened in something before, but that's the first time I remember, like, what the like my brain just like doing this like TiVo backstep thing where I was like, wait a second, there's a fucking window there, wasn't there?
Yeah. No, Good Omens is
it's funny. I liked it.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think the story works as well as just the acting. I think the acting is great, but I like the plot of that thing. Who fucking cares? I was so not invested in the plot. I was just invested in the two lead characters.
Oh, I don't know. So I liked all the side people. I actually think like I enjoyed. Like, don't get me wrong. I've said I have a giant gaping man crush on David Tennant, but like, like I was more fascinated by like I love the witch lady. What's her face? She had the weird name. Like I loved her and Jack Whitehall and Michael McKean. Like.
Oh right.
Like that whole like interest. Like I like that story a lot, and I loved like her interaction with the kids. Like I don't know, the kids were like just precocious enough that it like really worked for me.
They seemed like normal, mostly
British kids. Like just like hey, we're just enough confident enough to like come out and talk to you, pretty adult lady. Like and not be intimidated in any way. Like
right.
It's weird. But
yeah.
I don't know.
And I liked that Nick Offerman had my same last name.
Did he? I don't remember.
Yeah,
okay.
He did. It broke my brain because they just kept saying it over and over in that first episode about the baby, and I was just like, "That's my name. Stop it."
That's my name. Anywho, moving on.
I have one thing. If you want to pause for a second, I watched the first episode of The Stand, which is now on CBS All Access, and I'm curious to hear from people who watched that episode of The Stand who have no Stand knowledge whatsoever. and tell me if that made a lick of goddamn sense to you.
See if it delivered.
Yep.
Calculus.
I am so baffled by the choice to make that show nonlinear. It's such a strange thing. And on one hand, I get it. It's because the first half of the story is so much better than the second half. The second half is just a slow decline down, whereas the first half is just like, what the hell is going on? And they realize we got to mix this up. Otherwise, the last 5 episodes of this 10-episode show are going to suck. But I only made sense of it because I've seen the original miniseries 100 times. Not really that many, but I'm familiar enough with it to where I know.
Well,
all
Chuck,
of this
according to
stuff.
our official tally over here, you've only seen it 12 times because we were keeping track of how many times you've watched it.
Sorry. Well, I'll start watching it at 1.5 speed.
I was
Okay,
gonna
yeah.
damn it.
Get that number up.
Yeah. Sorry, but that doesn't. We're the twin galaxies of how many times you've watched something, and that doesn't count. That's modified hardware.
Must be original ROM or nothing at all.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just kind of baffled by that choice. It is not a good first episode of television, I don't think, for a story that's supposed to be this cool and this epic. It just, I don't know if this show was bothered or affected by COVID. Like, I don't know exactly when they started filming this. It just comes off that way. They were like, well, what if we just edit it out of order? Maybe that'll make it more interesting than it's going to end up being because we ran out of time or something. I don't know. It's weird. And it was a baffling choice that, I don't know. It just was very disappointing. So there's still 9 more episodes to go, but they're kind of doing this thing where they're doing the, like, this episode will focus on this character. It's like, that's not.
Does Moon Guy get a whole episode?
I don't know. He hasn't shown. He wasn't in the first episode.
Oh, no.
You got to have the first episode is like that introduces you to the world, and then you can go off and do.
Yeah, they didn't do that. The main character of the first episode is one of the not main characters.
Okay. Have you ever read the book?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah. It's an important character. It's just not a character who has anything to do with the ending of The Stand.
Yeah.
So
I was just not. That question was apropos of nothing else you've said. I was just curious.
yes. Yeah. Now I don't know which version of The Stand I've read because he has revised it several times.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the state of The Stand is at this point. So maybe this is more accurate. I don't know, but I just hold that miniseries in such high regard, and this is just confusing to me. So we'll see. 9 more to go.
Gotcha. Bill says that he's reading the book right now so he can have it fresh in his mind when he watches the miniseries.
Oh, boy.
That's probably a bad idea.
What a treat, Bill.
Yeah, that's the book to read this year.
Yeah, right. Tell us which version of The Stand you're reading. If it's the revised or the re-revised.
It's called the newspaper.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
say
No
this
one reads
version-
newspapers anymore.
I will say this version being on quote unquote cable or whatever the hell we're calling streaming services now, there's 100% more jacking off in it.
So one?
Yes.
There's one jacking off.
Yes. Yeah. And it's just one of those things too where it's like, you know what? This dude's going to be jacking off at some point. I know it. This has that HBO feel of it where it's just like, you got to have dicks out and then jacking off. That's what cable is now. We got to do it. It's like, no, literally no one wants that.
Hey, somebody wants that.
Sure. Nobody watching The Stand wants that.
Oh.
Not from this guy.
All right. Oh, so if it was somebody else on the stand, it would have been okay? It was just not that guy?
Other people, it might have been James Marsden, maybe.
Sure, yeah.
You might want that. Not this guy. I don't know.
I'll show you the real Cyclops.
Most of the time when somebody's jacking it on screen, it's not the guy you want to see jacking it.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Which is why my Jack and Cast failed.
Well, that was a hardware failure.
Yeah, it happens. Don't worry about it, Chuck. It happens to everybody.
Happens to everybody. Can we talk Mando for a hot minute? Like,
Sure. I mean,
Just
we probably have to avoid spoilers because I don't think Chuck's been watching it right?
I am only 3 or 4 episodes in,
Okay.
but
Okay.
also I know exactly the thing that happens at the end because, of course, I fucking do because the internet found entire new ways to spoil it. So
Yeah, there's like people that will knock on your door and hold you a screenshot of the fucking end these days. Like it's impossible to to avoid. And even if you don't open the door, they'll find some way to like
they'll slide an
holographically
iPad
project
under
it.
your
I'm sorry,
door.
like in my mind, Andrew Lincoln has just showed up at my door with like individual stills of the end of the Mandalorian.
Hold it up and be like, or they'll like holographically project it through your peephole, in the door onto your face, into your eyeballs.
No,
They'll
get
be like,
the fuck out.
they'll like sneak into your house at night, strap you down to the bed, and project it on the ceiling with those Clockwork Orange eye things. People out there, listen, fucking stop that. Like, I get it. You want to talk about it, but what you need to do is you need to find a Discord somewhere where you can talk about it in a spoiler channel and
Go to
talk
fucking
about it in the
Reddit,
spoiler
man.
channel. Yeah, go to Reddit, go to the Mandalorian subreddit or whatever. Just don't put it out there like in public. I managed to
like people are one thing. I think even worse is like the
variety and shit.
Well, yeah,
It's
like the news things where it's just like, oh well, what's the thing that's going to get us the most clicks if we like are just spoilery enough here? Like, you won't believe what happened, and and it's like,
Well, it's always like 5 minutes after it airs, they've got the interview with the showrunner about this big thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, fucking hell.
Yeah,
But anyway,
like-
go ahead, talk about the Mandalorian.
surprise how Han Solo's balls showing up in an episode of The Mandalorian has implications for the future of Star Wars. Like, fuck off.
were they in a jar with Jeff Goldblum?
I was gonna say, were they in a jar? And was he like, "Hey, check this out"?
Hey, check out my balls. My balls in the jar. You read the bell
got a
jar.
bad
Now here's
feeling
the
about
ball
this.
jar.
We're gonna
Sorry.
chart our Sylvia Plath across the galaxy.
Yeah, I was just in case you were like here for Sylvia Plath references. Bingo.
You got it. Mandalorian is really good and continues to be really good. That's not fucking news, but I'm super stoked about like television coming from the Star Wars universe right now.
This season was peak fucking Star Wars, like peak.
Yeah.
And I mean, like like I said, I'm starved for entertainment. I'm prepared to say, like, I think I would rather watch this season of The Mandalorian than Empire Strikes Back.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
that's-
Yeah, I'm granted, like I've just like I've seen Empire Strikes Back 113 times. Check it, Twin Galaxies. No, I don't know. Doesn't
the
matter.
database.
I've seen it a lot of times, and like right now, I'm like right now I'm thinking like you put me down with a choice. I'm like I'm probably gonna watch season 2 of Mandalorian again right now. Like I'm just saying it's strong fucking Star Wars from something that has given us bad to okay since 1983. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a few things that I wish they had done differently. I think without being too spoilery, shit, I forgot her name.
Which person, Ming Na Wen or Finnick?
No, I love Ming Na Wen.
Okay.
She's the fucking
Oh,
best.
I just trying to help you. I didn't know this was a negative thing. So I'm trying to put words in your mouth. Like I hate this. Like, oh, I wasn't going to say that.
Okay. Sorry. There are a couple casting things that I'm not sure that I really like. At the end of the day, one of them is Amy Sedaris. I like Amy Sedaris. I don't think she's.
I liked
I
her
don't
more
think she's
when
a
she
good
showed
fit.
back up. If that makes any sense. Like I feel like every character that was like, ugh, if they showed back up this season, they were better. Like Bill Burr gets a really good arc out of his character, strangely.
Yeah.
And like something about her showing up the second time, I don't know why it worked for me. I think it's just because she's like, give me that baby. Because that's the same reaction I would have. I'm like, fuck you, Mando. Give me that baby.
Yeah. I really love Giancarlo Esposito. That's no surprise. He's amazing. What is his name? Hang on, I'm finding it. There's just some, like, it feels like there's some, I don't know, stunt casting almost in a couple ways. I'm trying to make sure, and there's also a lot of stuff that, like, there are a lot of folks that make sense and work, like Bill Burr's character. Yeah, he's from Space Boston, and that sucks, and he's annoying when he shows up. But
well, the elf in our Christmas movie had an accent.
yeah. He was from New Zealand. I'll figure. I don't like Carl Weathers. I'm sorry.
What?
That's like the one.
You don't like Carl Weathers in general? You don't like him in the show?
In this.
Okay.
in the show.
I was like,
I
what?
like Carl Weathers in general.
Okay.
I'm watching Arrested Development again. So Carl Weathers showing up in Arrested Development is a palate cleanse from Carl Weathers in The Mandalorian. I just don't.
Is it the character, or do you think he's just not suited for the Star Wars universe?
I think he's not suited for the Star Wars universe. Like, if he was playing Carl Weathers, I would feel like he was more suited to.
So the rest of Carl Weathers' career is just him in different shows playing Carl Weathers.
Exactly. Yeah.
But actual Carl Weathers, or like the Arrested Development version of Carl Weathers? Because I'm pretty sure like Thomas Jane is not like the Arrested Development version of Thomas Jane either.
Oh no, he is. He's a weird, creepy homeless.
Yeah,
dude.
he just hangs out as like does method acting for homeless roles. Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
half the movies Thomas Jane is in are just ones that he barged onto the set. He was sleeping in the alley and he was like, hey, I heard there was acting going on in here.
Is there a Predator happening here? Can I be in it?
Yeah, I just something about Carl Weathers in The Mandalorian just throws me off just enough to make those scenes weird for me. I don't know why. It just is. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that like every single individual episode is the best thing ever. The highs of this season were really high, and like,
100%.
Yeah, so it's like just as a whole, I could easily watch this whole season, and that's the thing is like
except for that scene where Chewbacca is jacking it.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. But
expected.
Yeah,
it was good to see Chewbacca, but it was not good to see his
Wookiee dick.
Yeah,
Wookiee
didn't
dick.
you see his Kashyyyk?
His bowcaster.
Yeah.
Weird thing. Happy Life Day.
Weird thing was lumpy, man.
Oh,
it was both itchy and lumpy.
Oh,
Yeah.
No.
It's got that super space gonorrhea.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mandalorian is so good. It is as a person who liked the sequels, this is my favorite Star Wars thing to come out in the last since the original trilogy.
Yeah. Like I don't even feel like I'm being hyperbolic. I just like genuinely think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real good. Yeah, Star Wars is good again.
Hooray. I mean, I got to be honest. I'm a little worried of them keeping up the quality because now it just seems like, hey, this show worked all the shows. And, like, I'm not saying it was ever, Citizen Kane, but like the Greg Berlanti universe of the DC shows. It was like, hey, we got a hit show. And it's like, all right, well, we made another show. All right, that show's pretty good too. And it's like, all right, we made a third show. And it's like, all right, that's pretty good. It's like, now we have 8 shows. And it's like, okay, A, I can't keep up. And B, the quality is really suffering. So like I said, it's just like when they, go from like, hey, we made a Star Wars show. Here's all of Lucasfilm Productions are geared towards making this when we're not making movies, full resources available. And now they're like, there are 6 different shows starting. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
It's not going to diminish what's already there. I mean, so I can totally enjoy it. Just like I said, I think, a little bit of less would be more, like,
maybe. I guess we'll see how it pans out, because it's going to be next year, I think, is the first of the next shows. So, yeah, and maybe it may be a situation where like they've got this production method for these shows where they're doing this whole crazy setless sort of, they don't need to go to locations to shoot. They don't need sets hardly. They've got that big room of projection or whatever it is they can film in. So it's probably super cheap comparatively and super easy to film.
Yeah, the pre-production costs are probably nothing because they're just like, all right, next crew, come in.
Yeah, I mean,
film your Star Wars shit in here.
I guess that's the thing. I'm not so worried about like, oh, suddenly the models look cheap or whatever thing.
No, well, what I'm saying is like I'm hoping that like they don't have to dedicate all these resources to sets. All that's like basically an upfront cost. They paid the cost for this studio, and this production method, so they can perhaps focus on the acting, focus on the writing, focus on the directing, and we'll get a nice competent show out of it. That's what I'm hoping.
I hope so. Like I said, I've watched too many other good creators go down this road when they have more than one show going, especially like hands-on creators like Joss Whedon back in the day. It's like, yes, other people wrote and directed the episodes, but I'm pretty sure he was pretty hands-on with Buffy and Angel at the time. But you could see like when he was spending more time on one or the other. You could just almost like see this like, oh, okay, now this isn't as great and this got good. And it's just, I feel like it's going to be that way because this clearly has Dave Filoni's fingerprints all over this whole, like, everything that's been Mandalorian up to this point is just so like him and
Favreau.
Yeah, Favreau.
Jon Favreau.
Yeah, it's just like it's clearly like they've had a heavy hand in what's happened so far, and I can guarantee you, like when it becomes a split, I can 99.9% guarantee that Filoni's going to dedicate all his time to the Ahsoka TV show, just because that's his character, like a thing he created from the get-go. So I think it's like that's where all his emphasis is going to go, is to that show when it starts.
Yeah.
So.
Ming-Na Wen is 57 fucking years old and looks younger than me.
Someone pointed out
that
she was Chun-Li in the Street Fighter movie, and it like blew my mind because like I could not wrap my head around that. Like it was like, no. Well, I mean, also because I haven't watched that movie that many times in my life, like, and
prove it.
The mainframe says 3.
Huh?
The mainframe says 3.
Okay.
Answer for yourself.
I'll allow it. But yeah, like because I I'm aware of her from like good movies when she was young. Like that's not one that registers in my head as like, oh, that's a Ming-Na movie. It's like, yeah, she was in good movies for a while. Wayne Wang movies and things like that. But anyway, she's
awesome.
She's awesome. She was definitely probably the best part about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. As long as that fucking went on.
I only watched like 10 episodes of that. I fell off of that pretty hard.
Everyone probably fell off. I'm surprised that show continued on past the Inhumans season, because that was like they dedicated a whole season to setting up that fucking show. That other show fell apart and like immediately. Yeah. And it's just weird. It's like, so why didn't the other show fall apart? The show that wasted all its time with all this bullshit. I mean, the only good thing about the Inhuman season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is it introduced us to the, oh god, I forgot her fucking name. The lady who's now on Preacher, playing like a, God, my brain is retarded now. Sorry, I said that word because my brain isn't working.
Man, we went a whole 8 years without that making it onto the show.
I know.
We've done well.
It's my fault.
Still won't.
It's my fault. It's on the internet. I said it on YouTube, so. Anyway, I have something else to talk about.
Okay.
One more thing.
One more thing.
Because this is like, this is weird because this is becoming like it might as well be a movie. So, but it's a TV thing. But I'm going to treat it like it's a yearly movie franchise at this point. The Grand Tour just came out with another thing. Like, basically what they're doing now is like they're not doing their normal shows anymore. It's just apparently once a year we get one of their specials. That's what their show is now. So, because like they did one around this time last year, and then just surprise, my TV app was like, hey, there's a new Grand Tour thing, and it's yet another giant 90-minute special crazy thing. So that's apparently what they're doing now, because they had their like final episode with the tent in their old format, and they did a whole thing of like, yep, we're not doing this anymore. And yeah, like they did the one they called Seamen the last year, yes, where they were trying to go. What did they go from, like Cambodia to Vietnam and stuff, like all along waters and shit? It was a weird one. And this one they like do a pirate treasure thing where they end up in Madagascar. So, but it's fun, and if you're still down with that formula, I still very much enjoyed it. Like even as much as like watching that show now, you're just like, yeah, well, clearly this is all planned. I like people seem to revel in like pointing out like the scripted humor bits, and I'm like, yeah, but did it make you laugh? Like, I don't like you're deluding yourself if you think anything on TV that's called a reality show is fucking reality. So like, what the hell's the difference? Like, it's everything you see on television is scripted except for the news, and even that to a degree is pre-scripted. I mean, like the people reading it are generally dumb as a rock and didn't actually write any of it. But like, it's just saying, like, everything that's on TV is fucking scripted. So like, who cares? Like, if it's funny, everything's scripted. I don't know. That's a weird argument to like go after that show for. Of like, yeah, it's all scripted jokes now. It's like, yeah, it always was. Like, wasn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, I think what people are having a problem with lately is it feels forced. Like the Grand Tour stuff feels a lot more forced than the Top Gear stuff for some reason. And I don't know if that's just like the writing or the presentation of it. It's still funny. Yeah. It's just like a lot of the impact is lost because of the nature of it, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to define, but yeah. It doesn't have the same feel for me.
I get it, like I said, but I mean, I'm totally okay with this being their new format because, like, I mean, honestly, when the Grand Tour started and they like brought in the tent and all that, I was like, oh, like this would have been a really good time to just make a hard break from the Top Gear format, like they should have like broke from it then. I think just come right in and been like, all right, this is a maybe not necessarily change from like right off of like the reviewing of new cars and stuff, like the chit chat about cars and then go drive them for a while, but I don't know, I'm okay with this like being their thing now, like this special thing. We've got other let's review car shows out there, who cares?
Yeah, I've always really liked the like their bigger special or type stuff. So something like this is well kind of nice for me.
It's weird because like IMDb calls them both part of season 4, so I don't know if that's just like ongoing now. Season 4 is just every year you get a new special, or I don't know if that's their schedule. It's just like I said, it's like almost exactly a year apart from the last one and this one. So I do think what's funny is like they were in this one, if you've seen it, the jokes and the put downs that are going to happen. But like James May was like, I have a friend who did UN work or something in Madagascar, and she was like, they have the worst roads anywhere in the world. Like, just know that. And so they get there, and of course they like start, they land at like the capital city, and it's like, it's a city, and they have paved roads, and they're all like, yeah, whatever. And then, a day outside of the city, it's literally like, I don't think you would call it a road. It's more like a riverbed that cars happen to go down or something. But yeah, it's just funny because like it clearly goes to like, yes, it's true. Like, these are not roads, but people still drive down them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's fun. Like I said, you do see like the formula though, because like James May will always pick the stupidest, worst car thing you could possibly pick for whatever adventure thing they will do. Like, in every way possible, like it will be the wrong car. Like, and and just like then people give him shit for it. So, because he brings like this like one of those like track kit cars, like doesn't even have a roof really. It's like
like an Ariel Atom.
Yeah, kind of like that. Maybe not even quite as refined. It's more like a thing that normal people could afford. Like Ariel Atoms are actually expensive, but and he like brings this to drive through like Madagascar, which of course like this involves him driving through basically rivers that are human shit and stuff, because I mean it's like there's some really gross places they go and it's just like there's no doors, it's all just pouring into his car and it's like of course but it's still fun.
Good. I will give it a watch at some point then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's basically what I've been watching. I will go ahead and spoil my new. I have to have like a ongoing TV show, something that I can just press play on. That's why I've seen all of Friends and How I Met Your Mother and all the other things where I'm just like, yep, time to press play on this and watch it all. I decided to do Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's all on HBO Max, and I was like, what's funny is like. Everything I remember about that show, like every episode I remember, is all in the first season. Like it's weird. Like they hit one of their very special episodes on the 6th episode, like an episode you probably remember even if you only have like small, minute remembrance of Fresh Prince.
Is that the "Why Don't He Want Me" episode?
No, that's late in the game. That one's
okay.
Well, that one's way down. I think that's second Aunt Viv.
Okay,
but no, it's like the when they get pulled over and. Have to go to prison, and Carlton's like, I don't understand. It's like that was episode 6 from the beginning. I was like, damn, like that's. But then what's weird? The episode after it is a fucking clip show. Like 7 episodes in, they're doing a goddamn clip show. So I don't really understand. I don't understand.
What was the setup for the clip show? Where were they trapped?
That was the one. They all went to the mall to get Halloween costumes, and so there's like still present day stuff happening, but they're all doing the like, but remember the time Will. Or the first party he went to, and it's like, yeah, I remember. It was 3 episodes ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. Like right to a very special episode, and then follow up with a fucking clip show after. Like
maybe they did the special episode thinking like, well, we're not going to get renewed.
Yeah,
Let's
probably
just get the fuck out. And they were like, we renewed you. And it's like, oh shit, go to the mall and remember some clips.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like watching it just because it's like, it's 1990, I think is when the show started, 89, 90, somewhere around there. Like Don Cheadle was his best friend from Philadelphia, Ice Tray. Hank Azaria is one of the racist cops in the place where the jail where they get locked up.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he doing the Apu voice?
No. That would have been doubly weird, but
so is it just normal racism?
Yeah, I mean, they weren't overtly racist, except that they just arrested them with no probable cause. I'm just saying, like they didn't say anything extra racist on top of it. There was no racist cherry on top when they were done. It's just the act of
Did they flash back to this special episode in the clip show? I was watching the clip show before I started, so I actually haven't finished it. I have like so I have like
they
5
could,
to, like at the end.
They could
when we got arrested.
Yeah, remember last episode?
Okay. All right.
Hey, I remember. This is weirder than the time we both got arrested. Anyway, but that's my new one. And also, like, I don't understand anyone who's in Aunt Viv 2 camp. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Aunt Viv 2, but Aunt Viv 1 she was rad. Aunt Viv 2 was the best. Team Aunt Viv 1.
Well, now they're both back.
Well, sort of in that thing, in the reunion thing.
Yeah, that thing.
First Aunt Viv was way more feisty. Like,
okay,
I
think you said contradicting things there. I think you said Aunt Viv 2. I
said
think you started with Aunt Viv 1 is the best, and you ended with Aunt Viv 2 is the best.
No, I said okay.
I
don't understand anyone that's on Aunt Viv 2 team, because Aunt Viv 1 is the best.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm team first Aunt Viv all the way. And also, it's like in the episode, like I already know what's happening. Like I said, this is weird because like I thought I watched it longer, but apparently like all my Fresh Prince knowledge is mostly first season contained. I mean, maybe it'll be different when I fire up season 2. I'm like, oh, I remember this too. But this clip show, like, I already know where it's going. This is the one where she's like, Aunt Viv is in the. Remember when they used to have that, like, you know, pay $5 and you could record your own song in this booth thing at the mall, and she's in. She's in the song booth, like going to town, and I know she's about to do Proud Mary because I totally remember the scene. Like she starts with like some fucking like Sonny and Cher song or some shit, and then it's like she got a little bit more soulful song, and I'm pretty sure like the next time they cut back to her, she's just in like full blown Tina Turner, you know, Proud Mary, and it's like I totally remember this scene.
Well, my current TV watch is Arrested Development, as I mentioned earlier. I'm on the weird season where not everybody's together. I forget what it's called. But they've got some sort of subtitle for the show.
You're on the first Netflix season?
Is it like maybe the fourth or fifth season?
Fourth season is there was only 3 seasons of the original Fox show.
Yeah, so it's the 4th season.
It ends perfectly, and then they're like, "Let's do more," and it's like, "Oh,
right.
No."
It's funny.
There are funny parts. Which version of the Netflix one are you watching?
I think
I have no way of knowing.
They did away with the original version. I think your only choice now is to watch their like redone chronological one or something.
Oh. No,
I think this one's not chronological though. It's weird.
Okay.
Fateful Consequences.
That's right. Okay, so the originals are still there. They're in like the extras section, but they replaced it like for the main line.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never went back and rewatched it. So
it's weird. It's not really in chronological order. Is
it by
strange.
Person? Because like
I think it's by person. Yeah.
I think I knew it was like it was very nonlinear how it was first edited, which was a weird choice because it just really showed off that like they were very rarely in the same room together. But
I have been thinking about this a lot lately, and I always go back to that Henry Winkler scene where he is so clearly not even in the same universe that any of those people are.
It's so bad.
It's real bad. And I keep thinking over the next year, how many shows are going to be like this? Like how many shows are going to have this kind of thing in it? Because you keep hearing like they keep filming things. Like stuff is still being produced, but I'm like, for the next year, entertainment is going to look so weird because you're going to be able to tell. You're just going to be able to tell that people aren't in the same room.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of it's moved to Australia and shit. I mean, that's where they're filming Thor 4. Thor 4.
Thor 4.
Thor 4.
Thor.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the concept of like if you get the entire cast, like the thing that Tom Cruise got pissed off about, which is basically, look, we're getting everybody together, we're putting them all on a cruise ship, and therefore they can't interact with anybody else, and everyone's fine, so we can film our movie, and then 2 crew members run off and you know break quarantine or whatever the hell he was so pissed off about. But like I understand that concept, but it just seems like there's going to be a lot of entertainment that looks bad. Yeah. And it's just going to be that year of like, oh, COVID. And I'm not saying that is not any kind of priority in any way. I'm just saying like 20 years from now, people are going to look back on things and go, wow, what the fuck was wrong with the Batman movie? Or it's like, oh, this is that one day Twilight dude got COVID. And so they had to shut down, and all his scenes are filmed by, you know, the stand-in. So it's just a silhouette of Batman.
Yeah. Did he get COVID?
Yes, he was the one who got that production shut down.
Oh, I didn't know it was shut down. I don't pay any attention to these things.
Yeah, it was like right after there was like production is resumed on the Batman, and then it was like, nope, Pattinson has COVID. Shut it down. So anyway, I didn't mean to interfere with Arrested Development. I just that scene has come into my brain a lot lately. So
no, you're good. And I just saw that scene like a few episodes ago, and it's
so bad.
it is really, really, really bad. And you know, like at least the way that this, I guess, remix is presented, you can tell that they're never all really in the same room. Mm-hmm. But the way it's shot is more like kind of how real life goes. Like you don't get all of your family members together
Right.
once a week or twice a day to yell at each other, even if even if you own a business together, like that doesn't happen. So it feels a little bit more like how real life would go. And it doesn't really bother me, except for those scenes where somebody is obviously not there, or like there's a stand-in, you know.
Is season 4 where Isla Fisher is, or Isla, however you say her name?
Yes.
Is that the
yeah.
redhead? Ron
Howard's
daughter.
Not daughter.
Yeah.
I don't know why I've been thinking about that joke. I don't know why that joke jumped back in my head of like how fucking hilarious that is. If you know, do they explain? I can't remember. Do they explain it in that like all of his kids have like their middle name is like where they were conceived? Like Bryce Dallas Howard,
Yes.
and her name is Rebel Alley. I just think that's fucking hilarious. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And there was.
Ron Howard's a good sport.
yeah, I'm just saying that's a great joke.
There are a lot of pretty good meta Ron Howard jokes because he's, obviously narrating and existing in this universe at the same time.
And his office is 1 inch higher than Brian Glazer's.
Yeah. Or no, it was Brian who made his. So
Is that what it was? I don't know.
Ron wanted his office to be taller than the rest of the offices, but the building was already like set, and they couldn't make it higher because Jerry Bruckheimer had an in with the city council and wouldn't let them make their building higher than his. So Ron Howard made the floor lower in the floors below, or the ceiling lower in the floors below him. But then Brian had his office 1 inch lower than Ron's because he wanted his ceilings to be taller than Ron's. Yeah. That whole thing, it takes you several episodes to get all of that information out, but it's good payoff. But yeah, the first 3 seasons, the ending to that probably shouldn't have been fucked with. It was great where it left off, and now it's just they're good jokes. It's funny because like those characters interacting, and and I love them glossing over the fact that Michael Cera in one scene is like 14 years old, and in the next scene is like 25 or whatever. He's got like the beginnings of a wispy mustache, and he's lost all his baby fat and all that.
It's even more egregious going from 4 to 5 because 4 ends with a scene that 5 starts on, but they're still like 5 years apart. So Michael Cera is now like 30-year-old man.
Yeah. And what's her name? Portia de Rossi. Is that the right person? Yeah. She changes so much between season 4 and season 5. I didn't know it was the same person for the first like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I haven't watched past 4, so I don't.
Or between season 3 and season 4.
I did not get past the first episode of season 5. Like it started and I was like, I can't. This is shitting on the memory of the first 3 seasons of the show. The first 3 seasons are so perfect. It's just, how do you put that much comedy in a show?
As the 3rd season, especially, I mean, where it was just like, fucking get it all out. Like,
when they were just like, we don't care.
Empty
just
the
like,
notebooks.
We're not going to get renewed.
Yeah.
Go.
Every joke we've ever had, empty the notebook. It's going in this season.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, even
there are also a lot of good.
That's good. I was going to say, like, Grand Tour even did a good jump the shark joke in this last episode.
Nice.
Yeah. And I whenever that phrase comes up, I just will always remember Arrested Development. That's
Henry Winkler just casually jumping over that shark on the pier is the fucking funniest thing. I fell out laughing at that.
Yeah. I can hardly say the blah 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 thing with a straight face. That's just that is like one of my favorite, like, most ridiculous pieces of writing that anyone has ever done, is to get to that.
How does your brain operate that way?
Yeah.
Like, did you come up with that joke first, and then you had the patience to introduce this character and not immediately go with that joke? Because it also has the blah 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 lobs lob on.
Blah blah blah. What? No, that's my lawyer. Blah blah blah. That's one of the things that's genius about Arrested Development is the patience to like to set a joke up and pay it off 5 episodes later instead of in the very same episode.
Yeah.
For so many things. And the patience to keep a running joke alive, just barely alive enough to keep it in your memory for a payoff at the end of the season or something. Yeah.
Well, just Jason Bateman's constant maintaining whenever someone says the OC, for him to just no matter where he is, just to go, don't call it that. Every single time. He would just immediately say that, and the scene just moves on. Like no one acknowledges that he said that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a great show.
Mm-hmm.
We are blessed to have Arrested Development in our universe. But
yep.
I think that's that's all I got.
Yeah, I think Arrested Development probably has the highest quality joke content for a single season of television, even counting The Simpsons in their heyday. Because I mean, like, first 3 seasons of Arrested Development are just, they're like machine gun turrets of jokes, you know, and they like most of them work. Extremely precise machine gun turrets of jokes, you know, like very few misses.
It's hard to watch while I'm working because I want to stop and watch what's going on pretty much every moment. So like I end up not doing anything for 15 minutes while I'm watching an episode because something, some sort of joke made me perk up and I'm like, oh, huh.
Yeah. I still say the best joke though, like not on that. It's got to be 30 Rock, the lemon party joke. You know, the brilliance of writing that and knowing that you were gonna fly that past the censors that's just genius. That's fucking great. And I mean, like, I don't know, just like sitting in the writer's room and like coming up with that and like, how do we get to that joke? You know, like, okay, well, your last name's already Lemon. Yeah, we're already.
Any of Well, who is the joke for? And are any of those people watching this show?
Right, exactly. Yeah. And the answer is yes, and dying laughing. Well, it wouldn't be a lemon party without old Dick. Yeah. So good. Oh my God, that joke. Yeah. Like I said, I've just never been proud of a writer. I mean, I don't know if that was Tina Fey or who wrote that, but whoever wrote that, it's the best joke.
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
Is that going to wrap it up, I think, for the Variety Hour?
Yeah.
The Variety Hour in 25 minutes-ish.
Yeah.
Check out our website. It is bmfcast.com. That is where you can link to all of our socials and stuff and get in touch with us. Send us emails and stuff, bmf@bmfcast.com, or give us a call on the Garfield phone, 910-5-JOCKS-BMF or 910-556-9263. Tell us why you think 1.5x on Netflix is a good idea. And we will deride you on the podcast next week.
Or join in the discontent of it existing, like me.
Yeah.
Feel free to have an opinion one way or the other.
Yes.
Just not, we just won't acknowledge your wrong one.
We'll acknowledge it.
Oh, we'll acknowledge it as being wrong.
We're just going to crap all over it. And if you like that sort of abuse, go to patreon.com/BMFcast and pay us for the privilege of being abused by us. Verbally and or orally, orally meaning your ears, not your mouth. Chuck's looking at me like it's not a thing. But yeah, patreon.com/BMFcast. You can contribute to our delinquency by giving us a monthly amount of money in return for which you will receive bonus podcasts and content, and we will also be able to continue making the show. So thank you for everybody for your support throughout the year. It has meant the world to us. We are building up the coffers, as you can say, so that next time we get together, we can have a giant cocaine and prostitute fueled orgy in celebration of bad movies.
Yeah.
Yep, our first
It's gonna-
episode back is going to be really something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be 12 hours long and
Yeah.
just a bunch of panting and
This week
It's gonna be
on
like those Howard
the
Stern
BMFcast,
pay-per-views from the 90s.
we're doing
Yeah.
Cocaine Fiends. It's like, oh, you watch that old propaganda movie? No, it's us.
No, it's us. Hey,
Hi.
Gary Busey's here.
yeah, we're going to hire Gary Busey too.
Higher.
Probably get him.
Higher.
Or Jake. I don't know.
He'd probably just be the one who brings us the cocaine.
Uh,
Hey, guys.
I thought you said you wanted to get higher than me. That's why I came here.
Yeah. I think Gary Busey's sober now, though, but
he
we
is,
can
yeah.
fix that easily.
Oh, we could convince him.
I mean, is it necessary is the thing. Like, if the turkey's done, take it out of the oven. I'm just saying, like, he's done the drugs. It's, like, it's there. Like,
Turkey's done. Take it out of the oven.
saying,
that's
like,
great.
he's where he needs to be. Like, drugs are now drugs.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But we're a little bit late to wish you happy Hanukkah because that already happened. So I hope you had a good one of those. So Merry Christmas, Happy Boxing Day, Happy Kwanzaa, and happy whatever you celebrate. We're happy to have you here, and
Yeah.
we are happy to have had you here throughout this year so far. So
Yeah, happy winter solstice.
yeah, Merry Yule, Happy Festivus. Today is the actual day of Festivus, I believe.
It is, yeah, the actual day.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's get out of here, shall we?
Okay.
Let's.
I'm Harlow.
I'm BJ,
I'm Chuck.
and this is BMFcast out. I remembered this time.
I don't know why I said that so close to the mic. I'm Harlow. I'm just checking in, guys. Is anyone still here? Harlow. It's me, Margaret.
I'm Harbco.
Yeah.
I got a really weird present for Christmas.
Did you?
What'd you get?
No, I was joking. I said I'm Margaret. That was a joke about menstruation. Yeah. The funniest of subjects.
Go on. Well,
May
Yeah,
your
so
days-
I got your Sylvia Plath and your Judy Blume references in, so you're
Yeah,
welcome.
good job.
Internet.
we are.
I've read Lady Writers.
28 or 29?
29.
59.
Saving dat project data file.
All right, so I'm going to ask this question again next week. Anyone got any reason not to do a podcast?
Principles.
Not yet. Yes, that. Sorry, I changed my answer to that.
Man,
Yeah. Let's tore us all down. Fuck the establishment. Down with me. I don't know.
okay, so for right now, maybe next week. We
Yeah,
can
I'm
do a
up in the air.
podcast.
My morals are flexible.
Well, I'm watching a bunch of movies this weekend, so I'll have stuff to talk about.
I mean, I'm going to watch Wonder Woman.
Yes, that will be one of the things I will discuss.
Except I won't be watching Wonder Woman because that's the theme song to the TV show. So
Right.
I'm not going to
They
watch
snuck
that.
it in.
Well,
that
you could
movie,
watch
didn't
It is there.
You
I
could
know.
watch the TV show now.
I could. I should have started playing on that instead of Fresh Prince, but too late now.
they? Yeah, no way you can
Yeah.
watch two shows.
Nah. Wouldn't make sense.
Old two shows, Harlow.
It's like, are we in Themyscira or Bel Air? I can't remember.
Who's this lady? This ain't Aunt Viv. What the hell? Put some clothes on, Aunt Viv.
Who's Aunt Hippolyta? Hippolyta, actually. I like to say Hippolyta.
All right. Well, everyone, have a lovely holiday.
Okay.
If you insist.
Night, Internet.
Goodbye,
Yeah.
Internet.
Yes, goodbye, Internet. Have a happy holiday, Internet. Bye now.
I hope your Christmas doesn't suck.